A lot of people face the level of challenges that you faced and don't come out of it. Or they come out of it broken.
Yeah, or pissed off.
Pissed
or
off,
why
yeah,
me.
upset.
There's been a lot of injustice.
Resentful.
In my life, but you can't hold on, right? Because when you understand, it comes down to self-love and self-worth, and really your understanding of what you've been brought here to do. And when you understand that, you will forgive, you'll release, right? And you'll understand that it's lessons of discernment. Because if I hold on to any of that, who's it affecting?
Welcome to another episode of Out of the System. I am your host, Leo Climaco. Today's guest is someone who truly broke out of the system. She was not stuck, but she was doing her 9-to-5 nursing job and wanted to free herself. She wanted a way to help other people, a way to explore the world, a way to leave that cocoon that we're all stuck in, that 9-to-5 cocoon. So she's here today to tell us her story of how she came out of the system. Jenell Kelly, how are you?
I'm so good, Leo. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so happy you came into our world, that our worlds have,
Right back at
met.
you.
Yeah.
I agree.
So good.
You're an incredible person.
Thank you.
With an incredible story. And I think not all heroes wear capes. And you're definitely a hero.
Thank you.
I feel like what you have experienced in your life, I don't think many people would be thriving like you are. How do you do it, Jenell? How do you do it?
It's so interesting. That just these things have been coming up recently because I'm working with a mentor and we're really going back right now and looking back and having the moments to uncover my story, you know? Because when you're living it and you're surviving through it, we don't really look at the details of it.
We don't smell the roses.
And no, and so now being like on this other side of things and being able to really take the time to dissect it in order to, use my story on stage with the teaching and the things that I do now, it's necessary. But as we talk about it, even he was like, how did you do this? And I was like, I don't know. I call it resilience, right? And
you just did it.
I just did it. We do what we get to do. Like there's so many people in the world. I have my own challenges. Everyone has their challenges. And as you know, we do what we need to do to get through, right?
Exactly.
And some of us thrive. And I think it's our time. And I think some people get stuck in victim mode. And they'll come out of victim mode when it's their time to come out of victim mode. Because nobody can move us. Nobody can make us see things that we're not willing to see.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. And I learned you can't pull people, right? You can just be, and then you just be. And as you're being in the world, then your being changes the world, right? Yeah.
I had a client. I was helping her through a couple of things, and she had so many things in front of her that she was choosing not to see. And eventually, a tumor was building in her eye.
Wow.
Literally.
There you go.
Yeah. She had to have surgery to get the tumor out. And then that made her realize that she's denying what God and the world is putting in front of her. She's choosing not to see it.
Right.
And it's like, as human beings, I think we struggle sometimes with control, right?
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. I think the sooner we come to the realization that we're not in control, there is no control,
Right.
we'll be able to accept and see what's in front of us.
Yeah, I agree. And I do believe we co-create. And so I always say it's about living with intention versus expectation.
Yes.
Right. It's only that expectation that we have that it's going to look a certain way or be a certain way
100%.
that puts us down. So I've learned to set incredible, wild intentions and then just allow it to come, arrive, develop, and just be the way it's supposed to. The tumor, that's stopping us in life, right? So it's, for her, it was a tumor, right? For me, it was paralysis. It was later a surgical induced stroke, right? And in these moments when we are meant to time out, like we get put in time out for a minute, and there's so much beauty and lessons, right? And the timeout.
There's so many.
And when we can see them, and gifts and understanding
There's
that's
so many.
exactly what it is. And it's like all of a sudden the trauma that lives in our cells and our body, it will turn up if we don't allow ourselves to process and heal and look at it and see what we're supposed to learn. And it is impersonal and it's business, and they're not separate, by the way, right? Like that was always one thing they would say at the hospital, like leave your luggage, leave your baggage at the door. Don't bring your problems to work. And it was like, oh, am I supposed to like completely separate myself from who I am and then just come in here and put on this fake smile and be this
Right.
fake persona? And for many years I did that. And that's how I became an empty shell. You know, and then there were so many things where I'm in here taking care of others and as absorbing their emotions and their pain and putting my stuff aside and just shoving everything down. Leo, one day I thought I was just going to explode. I was like, I know I feel something inside of me and I don't know what this is,
Wow.
but it doesn't feel good. And I thought all it's going to take is one little thing in life and I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel that way now. Now I'm like, okay, major things happen. It's just like, okay. You know, and you process and you work through it and there's
Yep.
all the things. But back then, I surely did not feel that way. And so I remember feeling like that boiling up inside. And I think
That heaviness.
Yeah, and so many people are still walking around the world
Oh, yeah.
that way, not knowing that doesn't have to be that way. You
Put
know?
the cup down.
Yeah, yeah, hand it over.
Yeah.
Control. So hard. So easy to say. But even I give stuff. I give it to God. I'm like, here, you take that from me, please, and you handle it. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I'm going to take that back.
Right.
And I'm gonna let it go through my head for a while.
Right.
And then I'm going to realize what I'm doing.
Almost
and then I'm
like,
going to give it back again.
you're not working fast enough.
Right.
let me grab
Let me
that
see if I
real
can
quick.
fix this a little bit. Yeah, it's so funny. And then I give it right back again. And I just then I laugh at myself because I have that awareness now. I can see what I'm doing, you
Yes.
know? So even when we know better, sometimes we still get to catch ourselves, only always, and doing the things. But in business, I feel it's the same way. I feel there's a lot of people that might speak abundance, but then they're operating from scarcity. Right? They're hustling like it's hard. And I used to take easy things and make them hard because I was so attached to that's the way it was supposed to be.
That
You know?
hit me right now. They're struggling like it's hard. That's a good one.
Yeah. Like, and even when things come easy, I think depending on what our mindset was in the past, we can make things challenging.
Oh, yeah. On purpose.
Yes, and but we unconscious though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's the same as sabotaging the things that are right
Yes.
before us. That new business deal, that thing you always prayed for, right? Like there's your next big conversation or something, and you just get in your own way.
You choke.
Yes, right? Or you don't show up.
Or you don't show up.
You don't show up, and then you'll have like that. You'll be righteous about why you didn't show up because you're going to be right about it. You know, we love that
Yeah,
too
yeah,
as
yeah.
humans. And then next thing you know, we're sabotaging the very thing we say we want. It doesn't have any other choice but to be amazing.
Exactly.
Isn't that awesome? And we
It's
can
so
do that
awesome.
in our business in every area, you know? But I think sometimes in our world, we get tied to that dollar. We get tied to scarcity. We judge ourselves by the amount in our bank account versus by what we are providing in the world around us. And we
Right.
get caught in that like shit, you know? And when you get caught in that shit shows up in your life. It
It
just
stinks.
does. You know, it does. And sometimes we just get so caught up in that we're not able to see it. Right. And then we start again, we've self-sabotaged something that could be a beautiful opportunity and we're not aware we're doing it. But that's why I love teaching what I teach in the world, because it's what I needed. Right. So
We're such magical, bright, radiant creatures,
Mm-hmm.
and we choose to diminish ourselves
Mm-hmm.
to money, right? To adding that worth, that value to your title, to your name, to your
Mm-hmm.
person. I think it's crazy. I really do.
I could not agree more, right? And so I've been in those situations where I've built from belief, and then I've built from really hard hustle and scarcity, and only one will last. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like only one way really works before you hit that rock bottom.
Right.
Right. And I think in business, as it is in life, it's being willing to move when what's serving you was no
Yes.
longer serving you. Right. It was one of my biggest things. My hardest thing was to let go of healthcare, of being like that nurse, because I didn't understand that I am a healer, but I can be a healer in all different capacities.
Right.
But I had identified before as an ER nurse, a
You
trauma
were in a
nurse,
frame.
right? The leader, the expert. I had
Yes.
done it since I was 17 till I was like I don't know, in my 40s at some point, and I'm
Wow.
just sitting there, and to let go of that and not wanting to be there, like whole body, soul, like being, it wasn't about moving up. It wasn't about going to a different place, but it was
I mean,
about
you did do
a
it for
change.
20 something years.
It was my life.
Yeah.
And Leo, I was, like I said earlier, I was like, was I going to go work at 7-Eleven? Like, I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? So it took 2 years, and I hung out because I'm like, I don't really know how to move. But it got to a point that I would just walk into work, and no disrespect whatsoever for the industry, but I would just stand there, Leo, and I would literally start hearing like the circus song, do, 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 and I would just be watching what was going on. And I'm just like, I don't belong here anymore. Right. And so that feeling, but
You
then,
outgrew it.
and then myself still having the hardest time letting go.
Yeah.
You know, because who was I if I wasn't that? Who was I? And then there lied the question that took me deeper and into, right, into the path and the journey that led me here, was knowing like that big I am beyond the titles and the surface and all the good stuff. Yeah.
There is the best parts of you are left.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's so interesting how humans are, where we think that we attach ourselves to a label, to a job, and we think that that's who we are.
Yeah. And letting go, though, of the familiar. You know, that they say every human wants change. And the thing that we hate the most is like change.
Yes.
Right? We resist it.
Yes.
But it's exactly what we want.
We pray for strength.
Yeah.
And then God gives us chaos.
Yes.
To be strong
the
in that
strength.
chaos. They were like, what the fuck is going on?
Right. I do. I pray sometimes. I'm like, okay, can all the little lessons that we get moving forward, could they be a little more gentle? Is that possible? Is that possible? This girl's been
It's
through a
not how
lot.
we learn.
I know. I'm just like, oh my
we
goodness,
learn.
what level are we going to next? But I believe when you're in business and you're in service versus just being there to
Yeah.
be there. And I hear a lot of entrepreneurs, and they'll say, oh, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life and this and that. And I'm like, but you're the same person behind the scenes that's complaining and bitching and moaning. And I'm like, it's supposed to be 80% good and 20% the stuff we get to do.
Right.
Right. So it's really something to look at. And it's like, are you really, is it your true purpose? Is that your true path? Or do you think that's where you could make the most money versus what you really want to do, right? Because if we were willing to do what we truly are called to do, if we've gotten to that point where we understand what that is, just do it, because that's where the money will come.
Right.
Right. But sometimes there's a little desert that looks a little dry, right? And it's like, oh my goodness. And so we're afraid to, I find people afraid to invest in themselves.
To water
People
it.
Afraid, right?
Yes.
It's like, you gotta take care. Like, you can't start a business with no money. I mean, like, you can, but then you get to a point where for growth, you get to invest. And I think there's fear in that too. I think a lot of what we're talking about with change and everything is just all fear. That's of what, you know, when you really look at it, is doesn't exist, but, you know, and getting through that piece and getting over that hump and that hurdle and just really going all in. But to me, I bring it all back to faith, right? And being grounded in yourself.
The two are interlinked, right? Faith and fear.
Yeah.
I think they're two sides of that same coin, in a sense of, what is it? No fear, no faith, no fear, no. I forgot how it goes. It's a saying that goes, no faith, no fear, no faith. Something like that. But basically is, what it's trying to say is that the two cannot coexist. If you have fear, you can't have faith. If you have faith, there's no fear.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And I think too many people are stuck in that. A long time ago, I decided to break away from this word fear. I changed it. I was like, I don't like this word. I don't want it in my daily life, my vocabulary. I see it as a learning lesson.
Always.
Always. It's the only way to look at it for me.
Do you know, can I add?
Please.
What cracks me up is people will do something, right? They'll host their first event. They'll do their big first whatever. And then they're just like, oh my God, this went wrong. That went wrong. This didn't, whatever. And I'm over here with a big smile on my face being like, that was amazing. I was like, did you really think we were going to do something for the first time and not have lessons from it?
Right.
Right?
Like,
It's
what?
like, no, you get to throw it out there. Like, you can't wait till everything is perfect and nor have an expectation of perfect. Like, you get to do it and you get to like then sharpen it. Then you
Correct.
get to adjust it.
There's
then
no
you
perfect.
No, but how do you know what works and what doesn't work if you're not out there just putting it forward?
Exactly.
And it's the judgment of others that we
Right.
fear the most. And I'm going to promise you that the people who are out there doing the thing are not the people who are judging you. Right? They're not the people who matter to me. And it took me a while. Like, it's been a 10-year journey, right? And it's taken me to really this like last, I don't know, every day I feel like it's like stronger and stronger of this, like, it just doesn't matter, right? Let people say what they want to say. Let them do what they want to do.
Yes.
Because the people in the arena with you, they are not the ones that are judging you.
Correct.
Right? It's the people in the seats, in the back seats. They have
You
so
are
much
literally
to say.
describing my favorite quote over there, men in the arena.
Oh, I was like, what's he pointing to?
Right back here, men in the arena.
I see it now. And
Yes.
that is truth. And when
100%.
when I really start to embody that, holy, like, it's so nice because it's this extra level of like energy I get to like create from, because it's
Right.
less energy being worried about what people think or what people say. Like, you know,
I'll say that's the
Yeah.
one thing I like about money is that to obtain money, you must be vibrating at a certain frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in that frequency, I want to talk to you.
Yes.
I want to know you,
Yes.
right? That's what I like about money, is that for you to attract money, you must be in the frequency of money.
Yes.
In that room, everyone's in that frequency. Literally. And I think that was the best part, because we're all vibing in the same frequency, in that same vibration, understanding that we all need money, but we're all there really to connect and to know each other. Understanding that connection will bring the money.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right? That's what's so good about it. When you
Yes.
really get it, it's like the focus gets off of the money, but we do know the money will come.
Of course.
Right?
It's a tool.
And money's currency. It's
Yes.
energy, just like you said,
100%.
right? So
Yeah.
all it is an energy.
Exactly.
So I say everything in life, it's just feedback and it's neutral.
Right.
Right? So look at your relationships, look at your bank account, look at the health. I just said this, right? And it's just feedback. But some people, we just beat ourselves up with that club, that internal club, right? We listen to those internal
that's their
voices.
feedback.
Right. It's just like, holy, no, just look at it. And then look at for you, like what's working, what's not working. Who are you hanging out with? Who are the people you're
That's
surrounded
so
by?
important.
And be willing to let go. It was so challenging for me though, Leah. I'm not going to lie, because I wanted to bring everybody with me. And then who was I to leave these people behind? But they didn't want to come. Right. But
weren't ready.
I can't leave them behind. It was like that middle, like jelly. It's like a jelly substance, or Laffy Taffy, right? You pull it apart. And it's like that
Yes.
center where it's like, and it won't break,
Yes.
but it'll pull. That was me trying to like leave the past and let go of those who weren't coming with me.
How'd you deal with it?
It wasn't easy at first. And just being in the right rooms, I was in network marketing. So in one of the events, just listening to the people on stage.
Yeah.
And this woman had just shared, she's like, listen, when you start to have success, your friends and your family, they're not going to cheer for you. And here was me. I'm like, my friends like me. Hi, I do a lot for my friends. They'll cheer for me. Why wouldn't they? I didn't understand. But I listened, you know, and then about 6 months into that network marketing journey, when I'm getting all these awards and winning this and doing that, there was no crickets. And it hurt my heart for a good week or two, because that's when I remembered that, oh my God, this is what that lady on stage said.
Yeah.
She told me that this would happen. And so then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, she says this happens when you're getting successful. Holy crap, I'm getting successful. I'm on the right path. So I just kept going. You know, I just kept going. And I lost it. Because you know what? Partying and drinking and all the things I was doing before, they weren't important to me anymore. I had goals. I had reasons to come home from work after a 13-hour shift and to stay up for 4 more hours and work before my next 13-hour shift.
Wow.
Right? There was just this drive, this
There's a
fire,
shift.
this vision.
Yeah.
Inside of me. And so it wasn't important. They would beg me to come out. And so I would go, and I was like, okay, but I'm bringing my computer. So they're all sitting around drinking. I got my computer and I'm just sipping a beer. And I'm just like, is this fun for you guys? Because this is how I show up now, right? Like, if you want me here. And then that just kind of dissipated altogether, right? And then there was new friends, and there was new community, and there was people with different vision and bigger goals. And then I just kept going along the way, you know, and things, they felt weird to me, what my mentors were telling me to do. But I was like, okay, I'm looking at your life and I kind of like it. You know, I kind of like what you have going on here.
Isn't that awesome?
You know, I was like, I kind of want that. So if you're telling me to put these sticky notes up around my house, I'm gonna put them everywhere, you know? And I always share that it was like, I didn't do things like, yes, let's do this. It was like, why the hell do I have to do this? You know? So if you feel that way, I think it's so important to know, just do it through your own resistance.
Exactly.
Right? Do it. You got to be strong enough. You have to have resilience to just keep going through whatever's going on and do what the people are telling you to do. Even if it sounds crap crazy, just
and doing
go.
that consistently will help you break through fear.
Yeah. Well, you start to realize that your life starts to shift a little bit.
Correct.
You're like, oh, and now I look at the rooms I'm in, and it's not even so much about the rooms that I'm in, but it's this knowing that I belong in the front of every room that I'm in.
Yeah.
There's nothing that is like intimidating at this point anymore, you know? And we talk about frequency and money, and I had thought that the people who had a lot of wealth, financial wealth, that they must have knew these things that I was now discovering over this past decade, right? This inner work, this peace, this resilience, this love, this kindness, this like, and then the more I got into these rooms and I'm sitting around tables with people with 9-figure businesses and things like that, it dawned on me that they don't know what I know. Some of them might know it, but I'm listening and I'm like, this is interesting because you have this outward financial abundance, but internally, there's still this chaos. There's still this disconnect. There's still this. And I was like, oh, they don't know what I know. I just assumed that they did. And that's how they got to where they were getting. And that's when I realized that I had as much to offer them as they had to offer me. And that's when I realized I belonged in every room. And I was like, got it. You know?
Yeah.
It was interesting, though, when that discovery.
People can stumble into money.
Yes.
Not everyone that has money is smart or healed or happy or sane.
And I didn't know that at first, you know. I love looking back and seeing like the innocence and like the naiveness of myself at times. You know, I'm just like, oh, like it was this big discovery. Or they never know when it's enough, right? I did an incredible mastermind with Jeff Hoffman that I had spoke at, and he shared a story just about bigger boats, right? And a mentor of his, and it was just never enough. You know, and it was like never knowing when to stop and destroying lives around him, you know, not around Jeff, around the mentor's life, to the point where Jeff finally had to just step back. And I love that he has shared that story. And I was like, yeah, it's that, you know, like you're still seeking something because that inner peace isn't there. There's something missing. And so that's what I love to bring into the world of entrepreneurship, into the world of business, you know. And
that was a good mentor.
Yeah, Jeff,
well,
he's incredible.
His mentor.
Oh, his mentor.
Because he taught him both sides.
Amen. Yeah, you got to see it. And now he tells that story, and it's just like, it's such a powerful story to share. And it just has us realize, and had me realize that, you know, I know money doesn't equate to happiness, obviously, but I love.
It's better to cry in a mansion, though.
Money, yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I love it. Well, think about it. The large amounts of money in the right hands changes the world for good.
Yes.
You know. So, and I
100%.
I just learned about what you're doing in New York and with your school. Like, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Right? You can't do that without having the financial support to make that company run.
You cannot.
So people get to realize that. I think for healers and coaches too, I find a lot in that realm that because they're healers, they find it hard to accept. There's this story that's attached to it. How do I know? I went through it, you know, that it's not okay to accept money in exchange for these spiritual gifts that you share. And then that was a story that I had to get out of and that I'd like to support others in getting out of because, no, that's a talent. That's a skill. You cultivated that, right? You worked hard to get there just like someone else does. And so like for people that shows up for, just know that that's not true, you know, and you could do so much more when you have the abundance to be able to help others, right?
Why do you think a lot of people are stuck in that energy that money's evil?
Well,
or the root of all evil.
Yeah, right? I think it just stems back to whatever stories they were, you know, surrounded by in their childhood, right? Like for us, it was scarcity. For me, it was a scarcity mindset. because money didn't grow on trees and my dad wasn't a bank, right? And I had to like mow grass at the age of 7 that was like the size of a farm. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, Dad, I found out money does grow on trees. It's like paper, just so you know. But that it was like
All
that
this
had
programming.
it is, but God bless, I love my dad. And if you saw how he grew up, well, no crap that was his story,
For
right?
sure.
But I talk about that too. 95% of the world is living a story that they didn't write.
Yeah.
I didn't write that story. Because if I would have wrote my own story about money, I'd be like bathing in it, like everything was just like dollar bills everywhere. But it's just, so that wasn't my story. So I had to undo that, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right. And when I left the 9 to 5, right, I got paid every 2 weeks. I got paid a certain dollar amount. Didn't matter how much harder I worked than the person beside me. Right. Sometimes they were making more than me.
Working less.
So when I got into network marketing and I started to realize, oh, I actually get paid for the amount of work and time and effort that I put in. And I can teach others to do this too, right? And then I realized that I hit a brick wall after the first year. And I had a bigger vision. And like all the things I'm doing now, they were my vision then, but it didn't seem to match up because every night I go to bed and I'm like, all right, like, better now. Like, what to do. The 3-step blueprint to make this successful. You're watching people do it.
Yeah.
These products work. They're life-changing. And every day I'd say I'm going to do it. And every night, Leo, I go to bed, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do it. Like, I didn't do it again. And it wasn't making sense to me. And so instead of giving up, I got curious. And that curiosity became my mentor. And I let that curiosity lead me in the conversations with people who had gone before me. And that landed me in transformational training rooms. And that's what changed my life, right? So that was kind of a vehicle to get me onto the next path. Because I could never be a 7-figure earner in that company. With the mindset that I had. Right. No amount of sticky notes or affirmations or love or support or CRMs or systems or SOPs was going to make me a 7-figure earner, because subconsciously I was a poor girl who grew up outside of Philly.
You didn't believe it.
No. Right. And in business, it's just, I think that's with everything, whether it be the dollars, whether it be the clients you want to attract, whether it be right, whatever it is, you have to believe that. So what story is locked in subconsciously, right? And we get to look at that.
Even Jesus couldn't perform miracles in the village that he grew up in because they didn't believe it.
Right. It's so powerful once we get it. Then it becomes like a game, and then once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And then you just get to get yourself out of your way, right? Get yourself out of the fear. You realize there's nothing to fear. Where it's our brain is set that way from birth, from caveman days, right? The saber-toothed tiger. But there's no saber-toothed tiger running after you.
Nope.
And yet here we are, like, afraid to put it out there. So, like, you got to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Like, what are you not doing? What are you not sharing? What are you not verbalizing?
Some keyboard warrior making fun of you? Let him.
Yes, right? It's fun. I love it when I discovered it. It lights me up and I just like sharing that with others.
I want to touch on 3 moments of your life with you. First moment, I want you to take me back to when you were a nurse, when you enjoyed being a nurse, when you were found by being a nurse, right? When you incorporated it, when you thought that this is my life, this is what I do, I'm a nurse.
Oh.
Take me back there. And I want you to paint me the picture of how that crumbled, of how you went from, I'm a nurse, this is my identity, to this is a circus, and I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
What was that shift like? How did that occur for you?
Yeah. Oh, in the beginning, it was very innocent. Like, I did not ever say I wanted to be a nurse. It was actually the one thing I said I would never be.
Really?
Yeah, because I have an older sister and she wanted to be a nurse. And I was like, who? Why? Why would you want to work with sick people? Like, ooh, right?
Yeah.
I was going to be the hairdresser. I was going to be the bartender. I wanted to own, like, all these things,
So
Never
why'd you become a nurse?
I don't really know. I answered an ad, like, guys, it was in the newspaper, like my newspapers then, right? And we circled the ad. And it was like to work with people or something. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I went on this interview and I don't know, the guy was excited. I was excited. He said, you're hired. I said, okay. And so I started
20 years later.
It's so funny, right? I was 17. I was young.
Wow.
And so I was just like, I went in and, I just, the work
Was it
that
a
I
clinic, a
did-
hospital?
No, it was called an assisted living facility.
Got it.
There was no, it was like a full on nursing home, right? So I didn't know that this was a bad place because I didn't know any better. And I don't know why I loved it. I did love it. Like I loved, like these patients were like fetal position on mattresses on the floor, and we're picking them up and putting them in their wheelchairs and all these things. The first time I shaved the man's face, and this is a little old man who never spoke. He never spoke to anyone. He
Really?
was like grumpy old man. And so I'm in and I'm just like, hi. And,
17.
And, right, going to shave his face. And so I do all the things. And then I put the hot cloth on when I'm all done. And he looks at me, he goes, why did you do it that way? It's the first time we heard the man ever talk. Really? And I said, why did I do what? He goes, you put the hot cloth on before. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know it was to soften the hair. Like, and that sounds so silly, but I'll never forget that, right?
He taught you.
Yeah, and he and I spoke after that, but he never talked to anyone else, right? So it was just like, it was very naive. And then I went into new places and found better places to work. And then it was like a choice. Do I continue to do this? Or, there's this thing called an LPN. That means I can give their medicine. Like when I tell you clueless, like I cluelessly went into nursing. And so entered as the LPN, became the RN, and then started working in the ER and trauma. Scared shitless, cried every day on the way home from Broward General as a brand new ER nurse. Oh my God, yes. It was like, I was like, who did I think I was to go into that, right? Although I knew I wanted it. And so I stuck with it.
How old were you?
At that point, I was like 20. By the time I finished up, probably like 26. Okay. I was at LPN when I was 20, LPN to RN like 26. And then I wanted to do travel nursing. And so and out to California and all these beautiful things. And then it's community, right? In its own right.
It's human.
And it's all team, it's community. But it was a lot of just love and compassion for the people. There wasn't a lot of recognition outside of, I got my gratification from taking care of my patients, right? That's where that came from because it's not a very thankful job otherwise.
Right.
So you got to be in it for the right reasons. And I loved it all the way up. And then I had my own traumatic injuries, right? And I think that took a big toll on my love for nursing because here I was coming back from being paralyzed, right? Having a major spinal cord injury, being told I wouldn't walk again.
When did that happen?
2011.
How old were you?
I'm 52. I was about 37, 38, right?
Got it.
So I spent, it was 5 years of just major, just recovery and loss and emotion. And 2 years into those 5 years, I had gone back to work because I wasn't medically cleared, but I needed to keep a roof over my head, right? Like no one was coming to save me.
Right.
And it was like, okay, so I went back to what I knew and secretively, nobody knew what I had been through, right?
Really?
And because I was afraid that they would find out that I wasn't medically cleared, that I was a liability, and that I would lose my job. So there I went every day in pain, suffering, with a smile on my face, caring for others, right? While like literally should have been being taken care of, not being able to share with anybody what I'm going through. And just kind of, it was crazy. And so we do what we get to do. And so that was very draining. And then eventually, after a few years, I've created friendships and now everything's fine. I know they're not going to fire me. Like I'm walking better. I'm not falling down every now and then. Like it was crazy.
You were
when
falling
I think
down,
back,
were you?
every now and then my left ankle would give out. Yeah, I had 2 surgeries after learning to walk again from the injuries that were caused from the falls, right? So, and then it was like things were good. Everything was great. And then 10 years later, there was another major injury from a car accident, right? So again, in the spine. And so I think, Leo, that was just, I was exhausted. I was mentally and physically and emotionally just like drained because I wasn't just serving from an empty cup. I was like, but just had no cup. There was no cup, right? There was just pieces of cup on the floor. And so I think that led to me wanting to like get out of there. Like I was done. And so then having found network marketing, it was a little bit into the network marketing is when I went to work and I would stand there. And because I knew there was a life outside of this world, like there was more to it. And I was looking at like the everyday hamster wheel of my life. And I just wanted to get off of it. Right. And so that's where the circus song, which is me, just the hamster on the wheel, right? And how the majority of the world lives life is we get up and we do survival mode, right? We get up, we go to work, we come home, we attend to the family or whatever it is. We go to bed, we get up, we do to get the money, to pay the bills, to do blah, 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 right? And so that is
hamster wheel.
Right. That is hence where that came in, and I was like, this is like a circus, man. This is just like nothing changed. In
Yeah.
all the years of healthcare, like it's 33 years now, and there's still the same challenges that there was when I was 21. And
Wow.
when you step into leadership, you'll start to realize that did you really put me in leadership to be the voice that you wanted to hear, or did you put me in leadership for you to tell me just what to do? And that was, I was 8 years in leadership. So that also, and I did some amazing, incredible things and made some beautiful changes. And, I'm not discrediting my career. I loved it. Like I loved it all the way up until I didn't. Right. And I would never discourage people from going into it. Just be mindful. The sad part is we don't teach emotional intelligence and self-awareness in any school. Right. I think a little bit now I'm hearing the more the private schools it's getting into, but we don't teach it in healthcare, and we teach sick care. We don't teach healthcare. Right. So when you start to wake up a little bit, you start to realize
That's a bar.
that we're just throwing pills at stuff. We're not really we're not helping people. Right. We're not teaching them good health and food, and no, we're just throwing Band-Aids. So that was something else I was noticing too in the ER is younger and younger people coming in with diabetes and having strokes and all this stuff. And I'm like, we're not doing anything for these people. They're just living in this sick energy, and disease is just dis-ease. And when I realized that disease is dis-ease, I was like, oh.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's just dis-ease. It's dis-ease. You're not at ease, right? You have anxiety, you have stress, you have stories you're holding on to, right? So then I evolved as a healer. And out of that environment, which is a very low vibrational energy environment, into a high vibing environment, and into preventative and into wellness, right? What you focus on, you find.
Yes.
Right? So let's focus on wellness. Like, how did I heal from the stroke that they caused me during my surgery? I focused on my wellness, right? The body is a powerful thing,
Very.
Yeah. So by the time that happened 10 years later, it wasn't as challenging. It was not easy by any means, but it wasn't as challenging because I knew different now, right? My mindset was different. I realized that we can create neural pathways, and our thoughts create our realities, and they change brain waves and all this proven stuff now, right? So it's like, I don't have to prove it to anybody, but then I proved it to myself, and I was like, okay, this stuff's cool, right? Like, yes. So there's all the challenges. We just make up these stories.
Have you ever stopped and asked God, why me? Why did I have to go through 3 different situations where I had to start over?
Well, each of them took me to the next level, right? So I understand that now, So, yeah, like everything.
It's a great answer.
But it's true.
Yeah.
And so when you understand that, and so a part of my passion is to get people to understand that it's just part of their journey.
Right.
Right. So don't suffer through your challenge.
It's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Right. And we hear that all the time. But then it's like, okay, are we equipping people with the tools so they know? Because we can tell people that. There's a lot of people.
Can they see it? Right.
There's a lot of people telling people a lot of stuff, but they're not giving them the tools and equipping them how to quiet the voices, how to get out of their way, how to see this. Because every time you dip into it, man, you can't become the mess on aisle 5. You clean up the mess on aisle 5, but don't become it. And don't bring the mop and bucket over here to your present moment. You can clean up, because what's already passed has passed.
Right.
Right?
Stop
That
holding
it was
on to
created from energy that already occurred. If you now bring that here, what are you going to get more of? Right? But if you can
You're keeping it alive.
Yeah, you get more of what you put out there. So it's just leave bucket, mop, everything in aisle 5, clean it up, but move forward. What's the energy you want to create from? Right? And so when we understand that, it's like, oh, I can go through these challenges and still be completely empowered and not be a victim, and understand that there is the light at the end of the tunnel, that this is for somewhere. I'm going somewhere, but that's where faith, you got to have faith, you got to believe in something bigger than yourself, because if you don't, that won't work for you then.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How do you trust fall? Right. How do you open up your arms and fall?
If you don't have that
faith.
Yeah. It's so true. How do you let go of control that we talked about, right?
Well, there is no control. It's an illusion. There is no spoon.
Your own mental anguish. How do you let go of that, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have faith in something bigger than yourself, how do you build a legacy and a business, right, that impacts millions of lives financially, physically, emotionally, if you don't have faith? You got to believe it before you can see it, and you're never going to see it first, right?
No.
Right.
No, you can't see what you don't understand and believe.
Yeah, you can't make it happen if you don't believe it,
Yeah.
right? It is what you say it is.
Yeah.
So if it's not possible, 100% you're right, and if it's possible, 100% you're right.
Correct.
Yeah, and let go of how it's going to show up. Just know what it is.
If you think you can or if you think you can't, either way, you're
Amen.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So true.
You are so powerful.
Thank
You
you.
know that?
Thank you. I get told that a lot.
You are really, but do you understand how powerful you are?
I don't think so. I think I'm understanding more maybe because it's me,
Yeah.
like it's who I am, right?
Right.
And so, and I say that really humbly, but I hear it a lot. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep doing the things that help the
You're
people.
very powerful.
So thank you.
A lot of people crumble. A lot of people face the level of challenges that you faced and don't come out of it.
Yeah.
Or they come out of it broken,
Yeah. Or pissed off.
pissed
or
off,
why
yeah,
me?
upset,
There's been a lot of injustice. in my
resentful.
life. Yeah. There's been a lot. But you can't hold on, right? Because when you understand,
Yeah.
right? So it comes down to self-love and self-worth and really your understanding of what you've been brought here to do. And when you understand that, you will forgive, you'll release, right? And you'll understand that it's lessons of discernment, because if I hold on to any of that, who's it affecting?
Right. Only you.
Me.
Yeah.
I love me. I want big things, right? I want to do amazing things, incredible things. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be the first millionaire in my family. I want all that stuff. And if I hold on to any of this other stuff, it's going to keep me from it.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's going to weigh you down, literally.
Well, yeah, right. So it's like I've learned to process things and, going through the emotion, experience the experience without getting caught up in the experience.
That's
Right?
hard.
Yeah, but we get to do it.
Yeah.
Right, because I already had all that stuff trapped in me. Why do you have like spine injuries and another ruptured this and a that? Like that stuff was in me because I didn't know these things then, And The Body Will Hold Score. That's a great book, by the way. The Body Keeps Score. To read, to understand that, and that's where the dis-ease is, right? So, yeah. And I've just done it through being in the right rooms with the right people and willing to like break down in tears and kick walls and be pissed off and want to be right about it and let go and surrender and all that good stuff, right? It didn't always look pretty.
No.
It doesn't feel good. I was in my shit a lot, I had stories all around my legs after they were paralyzed. I had this big story about them. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like you got to love your body. And here I was still angry with it for a while, right? It's interesting. It's the little things, but they're the big things.
Let's shift into who you are today and what you do now.
Yeah. I'm me. I'm me. I still have one little pinky toe back in nursing. And
Do you?
I do. Well, I do because after the motor vehicle accident 2 years ago and they did surgery and they caused me to have a stroke, my business kind of went wayside for a year where I had to heal from the stroke.
Makes sense.
Right. So that it was like, okay, it's time to go. Right. So I work part-time in a very cush job that I say was designed by God because I'm like, am I even working? Like for real. And so it allows me time to do things there that I want to do. And we're building outside. It's about mindset mastery, right? I teach a program from Stanford University that was part of their business and master's degree curriculum. It's an 8-week course. We deliver over 65 different tools and techniques that help and support and guide people in all the things we're talking about, right?
Wow.
So I love to teach that course. I speak on stages. I've co-authored books. I'm writing my book now. I create international stages, and 2026 is all focused on the women. Sorry, guys. You can come for the parties, but it is mainly focused for women. So Resilience Rising 2026 is an international women's conference coming in June in South Florida.
Nice.
I do my Chicks and Coffee monthly event, which is more friendship focused, not business focused.
Okay.
And then we're I'm so excited. We're launching in February Blueprints and Breakthroughs, which is a business-minded brunch. So there'll be expert speakers, vendors, trainers, everything from like teaching you how to move your business forward.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, the CRM, the SOPs, all that good stuff, as well as the internal SOPs, right? To get us out of our way. So we're super excited about that.
Is that also for females?
Yeah, that's for women, but we can have
great.
male
No, that's great.
speakers. Yeah,
That's great.
we can have male
I
speakers
think
and vendors.
there's enough of these groups for men.
Yeah, well, yeah, I like the combo, but this year God said, right? And it just came with ease that everything was like focused forward on women. And that's been in me for a while, right? So, yeah, and I was just like, oh, now's that time. But so when you can be guided, you just go, that's how I know it's still going to be, all be successful, right? I'm like, okay, it can't even go wrong. Like, because it's not, when you realize it's not you, right? It's not me.
It's channeling.
It's not me. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm just here for the ride, right? And having fun with it. So, but yeah, that's basically what I'm up to for 2026.
Have you considered doing something for nurses?
Oh my goodness. I was asked that. I've been asked that for years now, right? And so the day will come. It's getting there.
Because if there's someone that could, it's you.
Right. Well, you know what's so funny? In the beginning, when I was first doing training, they were like, why aren't you working with nurses? And I would just look at the person. I'm like, oh my God, do you know who I was? I was like, do you know how hard-headed I was? Do you know how much resistance was there? I'm like, I don't know if I'm up to that yet, you know? And it's funny because it's so needed. And there
So
is
needed.
high levels of resistance. And,
So needed.
it's shaping up. It will happen. Yeah, it's there. It will happen.
There's a huge market there for you.
I know.
I see
know.
you dominating that market.
I know. It's when God says it's time. Let's start with the women. Let's start with the women, and then we'll move into the nurses.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if there's someone that could shine a light on that path, it's you, helping a lot of nurses transition to their post-nursing career.
Yeah, because that was challenging. That was the hard. Can I share something with
Please.
you about that?
Of course.
So it's not like a happy moment, but when the school shootings happen
Which one?
on Valentine's Day, the one that was in Pembroke.
Okay.
The one local
Yes.
here in South Florida.
Yes.
And I don't know why. My brain just can't even think of the name of it right now. But I was working that day. This was after I had stepped out of management. I had already gone part-time.
Talking about Parkland.
Yeah, Parkland. Thank you. And so the calls came in, and we're all listening and we understand what's coming. So we're preparing.
Wow.
And, we had like 2 trauma bays, but we knew we would need more. And I wanted to for a second, just step in and start to go in command. And then it was internally, it was no, Rebecca's in charge. Let Rebecca be in charge. And these nurses I speak of, they were the nurses that I hired and trained, right?
Okay.
So this is now years into having been there. And it was just that's when I was struggling of letting go fully. And that day it was I allowed them and I'm watching, and of course I'm supporting and doing what I need to do.
Right.
But there was a part of me that was just watching from this higher level and being okay, all right, they're doing the right thing. Okay, good. And I'm just kind of looking around. It was a very strange feeling. Well, the whole, obviously the incident was horrible.
Right.
And as they needed more rooms made into trauma bays, I helped with that. And then I was sitting at the desk and they were running in with somebody else and with the stretcher, and they're going in the room, Leo. And I just sat there and this voice just said to me, it's okay. You can go. They got this. And I was like, oh, they do. And whether that be God, whether that be higher self, whatever it was this permission within this chaotic, most horrific tragedy, right? Being told even in this horrible tragedy, you've trained them, you've done your job. It's time to go, It still took me a year after that. That's
wow.
It still took me a year after that to let go. We want to hold on so tightly sometimes to things that don't even serve us, right? To familiarity because of the fear that's not even true. What was I so afraid of? I have no idea, right? Just change, it not working.
Betting on you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but that's why it's so important that we just keep going along the way, because eventually we realize that, now I'm 2026, it's all successful. It's already done.
Yeah.
I'm already there, right? I came and say, I'm oh yeah, this year. I'm oh wait, we're not there yet. Yeah, next year, right? Yeah. So
Are you still in contact with these nurses that you trained?
Not really, no, because my life changed so drastically, and they weren't there to support
Right.
my new way of being, or they weren't interested. It was that letting go. It was like,
Yeah.
let go of my entire community, but it was necessary for me to grow internally.
For sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That must have been such a weight lifted for you, just to hear that message.
Oh, it was just, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think in the moment there was just so much going on
Yeah.
that I was just like, oh, okay. But another year, right? So it wasn't even like, oh, okay, good, I can go.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of this moment. I can see that there must have been a level of satisfaction there, a level of, wow, even in this chaos, I was still able to be there and train my team well enough to be able to handle this.
Yeah. It was a very humbling. It was a very, in the moment, because there was so much sadness around that whole
course.
experience, right? So it was just in kind of like a shock level, like,
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And then it was, but it was just kind of like, it's okay. Like, it was finally like that gentleness that I
Right.
was finally receiving gentleness from above. That was like a hand on your shoulder that was just coming in to be like, it's okay. Like, they got this. Like, you can go. Right. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think that incident was also probably like, all right, this is too much, I'm done? Or no?
No, not really.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No. But I remember checking on the nurses afterwards, the days to follow, and being like, hey, are you okay? Like, I just want to make sure you're okay. They're like, yeah, are you okay? And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, their walls are still so thick. Because remember now, this time I had been doing inner work.
Yes.
So my walls have dropped. And so I understand the
They were
traumatic
pushing it down
injury.
still.
Right. They're like, are you okay? And I was like, I am. And I was like, wow, they're not processing this at all.
No.
And that's how I had been previously.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that's when I realized that. I was like, okay. I'm like, they'll process it when it's their time to process it, Mm-hmm.
Is that why you think you had the two incidents to make you stop and look at life? With the injuries?
Oh, yeah. The first one, I still don't have a lot of clarity on that. Again, I didn't have the self-awareness. The second one, yeah, for sure. Like, I knew, because I was like still trying to tap back into that industry and I wasn't supposed to be there. And it was like 6 months of trying to get something that was part-time, non-ER, just a little bit to support me in my entrepreneurial journey. Because, I was on the part of the journey where it was like struggle bus, right? And remember, I was still coming back from having lost everything in my world. So I wasn't starting out with anything as an entrepreneur. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go back a little bit, just a little bit part-time. I won't do anything crazy. Like, I promised, like, I'm promising.
Right.
Right? Like, because I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. And then the only freaking place that calls me back is Boca Raton, ER, night shift, part-time, all the things
my
I
God,
said
that you didn't
no.
want, yeah.
I said yes, and I went back.
Wow.
And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, and I were there at work and I learned about this COVID, I look in the sky and I'm just like, you're funny. I took it very personal and I was like, I see you. I know I get to go, right? Because it was like, I live in my own world, right? So I was just like, I got it. I hear you. And of course I stay a little bit longer and I'm like I'm trying to create jobs for myself to get out of nursing. And so then my boss left to go take care of his dad. And the woman who was my boss at North Broward, which literally she used to make me like break out in a rash, she ends up coming to Boca as the replacement boss. Now I'm laughing because now I'm like, oh, okay, right? But now she doesn't bother me because I've done all my trainings, like I'm good. But it's laughable, but it's a little scary because I'm taking this like, get the hell out of here now. Like, you got to be able to see these things. So I see these things happening. And I call my mentor and I said, hey, how about I be your lead trainer? She goes, what the hell are you talking about? I don't have any trainers. I know. Tony Robbins has a lead trainer, so I think I should be your lead trainer. She's like, Jenell, I'm going on vacation. She's like, I'll call you when I get back. I'm like, okay, Jen, right? Lo and behold, on a Friday, that's when I'm sitting in my car. I get run over by the truck. And I was immediate.
That same day?
That was a week after I had pitched that idea to her.
Wow.
The day before, my boss had asked me, because Donna, we were talking, she goes, so how's your stuff going with your business? Like, she knew, we worked together before. I said, it's good. She goes, when do you think you'll leave nursing? I said, Donna, if it was up to me, today would be my last day. Declared, done. The next day, I get run over by a truck in my little 2-seater convertible.
How did the accident happen?
Yeah, I was sitting parked in my friend's driveway at the end of her driveway waiting for him to come down the street, and he was probably on his phone or something, and he came 45 miles an hour in a 350 lifted truck and ran over my 2-seater sports car with me in it.
Hold on. You're sitting in his driveway.
I'm in the end of the driveway. He's coming down the road, but he's on his phone. So his tire of his truck clips and runs over the back of my vehicle and pulls my vehicle out into the road and pulls the back of my car off. I had a little tiny car. I had a Nissan 360Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what car that is.
He had a big lifted truck with big old tires. And he didn't slow down at all. It was all in video. So my car literally stopped his truck by him hitting the back end of the car.
Would he have crashed into his house if you weren't there?
If somebody was on the sidewalk, walking down the sidewalk, he'd have hit the person in the sidewalk. Like my car, you know how sidewalks kind of cross over the end of driveways?
Yes.
So I was pulled down the end of the driveway.
Understood.
Not necessarily in the street, but
Got
just
it.
where like
I
the
know
sidewalk
exactly what you're
would
talking
be.
about. Yes.
So, right. So that is what happened.
Wow.
On a Friday, I was out of work immediately, and Jen calls on Monday, not knowing that happened, and says, oh my God, do you remember how you were pitched me to be my lead trainer? I said, yeah. She goes, I need you. We just got the program into the Health Institute. We're going to have hundreds of students every month. She's like, are you going to have time? It's going to take a lot of time. And I just said to her, well, I have all the time in the world. I'm like, I just got run over by a truck, but I can do this. And I knew like that was to close that door. And so you get to pay attention, because if you don't close the door yourself, divine will come in and close it for you.
Yes.
And I was very aware of that. So who was there to be mad at? I'm not going to even be mad at myself, right? I was just like, all right, clean up aisle 5. Let's go forward, right?
Are you guys still friends? The guy that ran you over?
I wasn't friends with him in the first place. I was at my friend's house. It was some guy driving down the street
Oh, it
in
was
the
a
neighborhood.
random guy.
Yeah, random guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just driving down the neighborhood street.
Got it. I
Yeah.
misunderstood. I thought you knew him.
Oh, no. And he was a jerk. He wasn't even nice to me when he ran me over. He told me I pulled out into him. The video told otherwise, right? But that would be the car accident, okay? That caused 2 years of rehabilitation. That finally caused the cervical spine surgery, that they dissected an artery that caused the posterior stroke. So I cleaned up aisle 5 for about 3 years.
Wow.
Why I focused forward, right? And so in 2024...
What a story.
Right? So 2024 was like, and then like some narcissistic people came in my life during my brain injury recovery, which was interesting. And then I saw that for what it was. And so I had to get out of that mess. And then I just took my flip chart and went back to coffee shops. God's like, get your flip chart, get back to work, right? Go in, call the people in, they'll come. They did, right? Then he's like, take it online, do your boot camps, do your conference. And here we are. So I went from coffee shops to international conferences in 1 year post-stroke, right? Yeah,
wow.
Amen. Yeah, right? Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ask this. What do you think would have happened to you if you hadn't gotten run over? Because then you wouldn't have discovered what was...
I don't know.
It's so crazy.
So I don't know.
That's so crazy.
And the wisdom and the knowledge and the brilliance that came through that whole
what a blessing in
journey,
disguise.
right? Like you can't. What am I supposed to be mad at? Like people are like,
Right.
"Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Did you ever get to die and come back? Have you ever been spoken to by God? Have you ever just been given tools and things and wisdom and keys to things that other people don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that settled between...
Oh, so what was beautiful is the day, so I was 2 weeks post surgery. Everything was fine. I was just like this, but with a soft neck collar on, right?
Okay.
A little bit of pain. Went to the attorney's office that day. I thought, okay, let's get this guy, let's sign this stuff. Let's get this done, get the
Right.
settlement done. And so I did. And 6 hours later is when I stroked. So he was clear and free of anything after that. I signed the paper. I stroked that night. And the next morning I woke up finding out that I did receive my settlement, and it meant nothing to me because nothing mattered. I just needed to get my health back.
Hold on.
Yeah, talk
Say
about
that
injustice.
one more time.
Are you
Okay,
ready?
so you signed the
Tuesday
paper.
morning, I signed papers. Okay, you're clear and free. I'm cool, dude. Let's go. I had the surgery. I'm fine. I'm healing good. Let's just get this over with, right? I signed the papers. He's released from any responsibilities from here on out.
Why?
Well, because it'd been years. Like, I was good. I was like, all right, I'm done with this stuff. Let's move forward. By the time I said they could do the surgery, they wanted to do the surgery 2 years prior, but
Got
I
it.
wanted to do holistic treatment.
Got it.
Then I realized I wasn't Buddha. So then I waved the flag. I said, do surgery. I have all this stuff planned ahead of me, right? Because I've been building my life through cleaning up aisle 5.
Got it.
Signed papers. 6 hours later, I have a stroke.
What a journey.
Yeah. I wake up the next morning to find out they honored the full amount of whatever for the money, and none of it mattered, right? Like, none of that mattered. So I was like, okay. I don't even know if I was really quite there, like, back yet. So none of that mattered. So
Well,
I think
at least now you had money to build your business.
I had money to pay back all my bills that I had
That
no
too.
income from for 2 years.
That too.
So there wasn't a lot of extra money, but and then there was a lot of therapy that I had to pay for, and I didn't have health insurance. I had been out of work for 2 years, so any money I had went into the rehabilitation of my stroke.
Wow.
Amen. Right. So hi, here I am. Right. So there's a lot of things, but I feel like God has allowed me now. There's not many people that can come into my space that want transformation, that want support or guidance, that there's not much you can come to me with where I can't say, like, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to stay here? Or do you want to go? Right? Like, I can honestly say that and feel good with it, because I would never walk anybody through down a path I haven't traveled.
Right.
I'm not sure there's much I haven't traveled, you know? So all the way down to like physical abuse for the first time when I was 50, recovering from a stroke. Like, that's insane. I was
Wow.
like, oh, I'm going to experience this too. It's like, yes, you are. I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Right. And so now it's just like,
Sorry to hear that.
thank you. But right now, because I would have a lot of women come to me, and a lot of women like come to me with that type of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, leave. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, why would you stay?
Right.
Oh, now I understand why you stayed. Now I understand narcissism. Now I understand like mind twisting and gaslighting. I didn't even know those words. I had to look up narcissist. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was, I didn't know if it was my stroke, if it was menopause. I turned to him and said, or if it's you, but something's not right here. That's what I said. I feel like I'm walking in the shadow of myself. And I was like, because I still wasn't, my brain. I'm like, you're lucky a part of my brain died. Like, that, how did you get here? And I was like, oh, that's right, part of my brain died. And I laugh about it, but I was like high five the devil, man. He got in at the right time, because
Wow.
otherwise, how was he going
He
to
saw
get
the opening.
that darkness in? It was like a line timed for the negative side.
Yeah.
But it was like, a good year, 2 years of just having that kind of people and energy in my space, and then clearly seeing it for what it is and moving with no like regret, with no, I just look back and I'm like, wow, interesting. It's just like, okay, but it made me who I am, so I can sit here and have this conversation and now support the people that I meant to support moving forward. Hence probably why 2026 is the year for me to work with women, and everything is women. I didn't really think about that until we're talking about it, but that's most likely why, because now it's like, okay, now you understand, because I think, my God, if I didn't have all the training and all like the healed childhood stuff that I had, and that kind of person came into my world,
Oh boy.
no shit, people stay, because you don't even know, like,
You get trapped.
Oh my. And it's so weird. And it's like people want to like explain it. No, you sound crazy when you start to try to explain it. And that's the hardest part about it. So amen to all of it, because that's why we're moving forward in 2026, right?
Yes.
With all the stuff for women. And it's going to be amazing.
Where do you want to be in 5 years?
I just a bigger global reach,
Yeah.
I'm open to what that looks like, but I really want to have a TV show. I'll
Okay.
definitely have a podcast. I love working with like entrepreneurs. I love putting people on stages, right? And getting people out of their, I didn't even talk about that. We have something else in 2026. So
Let's hear it.
we haven't shared it yet. I'm like, do I share it?
You brought it up.
Yet. Hold on, I gotta
You brought
trademark
it
it. You might have to sign an NDA. That could be the TV show. So I'm gonna hush for it
No
now,
problem.
but it is all about creating that space, that energy, the place, that content, For
And I'm sure
people.
Christine is in there somewhere.
No,
No,
not with
okay.
this one. No, well, she will be when the TV,
The
part
TV
hits.
shows.
Yeah, when the TV part hits. But we gotta, one thing at a time. Yeah, so it's gonna be really good. Yeah,
That's
I'm excited
incredible.
about it. So whatever it ends up looking like, it looks like. But
That's really cool.
yeah, I'm excited.
You want to be on TV or the internet?
I just the internet, like
Yeah.
Well, I'll take Prime
Take
and
both. Yeah,
Amazon
yeah,
and Netflix,
Streaming, yeah.
whatever. Streaming's good, right? The more people
It's a
you
new
can,
TV.
it's all about reaching more people. I used to want to do it because it was like, we
cool.
go through those phases.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we like to be seen and we like to be
Of
heard and all that
course.
stuff. Now
And
it's more
recognized.
like that was fun. Feel like I had that moment this past year. I feel like 2025 might have been for that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, but then the energy around it got like icky. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh, wait, this isn't, we're supposed to move. Oh, we got to
Mm.
move. Okay, because it's a little bit different. So now it's like understanding that these platforms are fully in order to reach a bigger audience, right? It's no longer like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm into this next thing, or hey, like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to, I don't know how to put it into words. I think you understand what I'm saying.
No, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, so now it's just about it being a platform, right?
Correct.
So for the right message and the stuff to get out there.
Being the vessel.
Yeah. That's it.
Exactly.
Right? So,
And whoever is meant to hear it will come.
yeah. But you got to reach the masses. How do we make major change? You don't create a
Right.
legacy, right? You start
Right.
one person at a time, but then that grows into one community at a time. And then it's like, okay, multiple communities at a time. And discernment is needed to get to that level because not everybody at high levels plays nice.
Correct.
They don't all have the same values. They got there, but ways that I don't want to get there.
Right. And I feel like creating a brand, creating your space
Yeah.
is the new resume. Right? I feel like in this AI robotic world that we're entering, we're going to have probably in about 10 to 20 years, 90% of jobs will be obsolete.
Right.
Literally. And I think if you are not a brand, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think I agree with you. I don't think I agree with you. I agree with you. And I trust that what we're doing moving forward with is 100% creating that for the people
Yes.
who are like, I want to have this and I don't know where to go.
Right.
Right. I want to do this and I don't know where to start. Right. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like a lot of people are, I just listen to who God's sending to me and what they're asking me for.
Right.
And then realizing like, oh God, this is what I need. Like, this is what we get to create. Like,
Yep.
okay, now send me who I'm creating it with, right? Because I don't create everything myself. I love to collaborate on everything because it's just easier and I can use my skills, I use their skills,
For
and
sure.
everything's beautiful.
The more the merrier.
Right. So, but I fully agree with you on that. And the one thing that people can't take from you, no matter what level you get to that you build into your brand, it is like it's your aura, right? It's your
Yes.
being, it is your energy, because you'll get to certain places and there will be people, the judgers,
course.
the people who aren't where they want to be yet, so they might talk shit or whatever.
Yep.
There could be smear campaigns going on about
Spectators.
you. And you have to realize that none of that matters as long as you are solid in your being. Like that will speak louder than any word. That'll speak louder than any story. That'll speak louder than any judgment. So doing that
100%.
inside is so important because people know. They see it. They feel it, right? It's just, you feel ick. You can feel the ick.
Oh, yeah. So the guy that you saw me give that 10-minute speech that day, about 3 to 4 years ago, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yep.
I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the ability. I stuttered. I was someone who the thought of speaking in public made me break into sweats.
Yeah.
So I completely understand what you're saying. When you have that confidence, when you have that knowledge that I got this, I've put in the work to be here, right?
Yep.
All that fear just goes away.
It does. Like, when you go through hell and you come back and
Yes.
you're willing to go through the woods and you're willing to come out on the other side again and again and again.
You show
it's
up.
like, oh no, I get this, right? People have asked me that. Some women have asked who are a bit older. They're just like, where have you gotten this confidence from? And I'm like, how much time do we have? Like, I was like, it's still been a lot of work, you know? It's not just one thing. I haven't
Right.
taken a course on confidence and became confident.
No.
Right?
It's life.
It was getting through all the things. You know, it's so funny. I love that you share that you couldn't do that and that you would stutter and all the things.
Yeah.
I literally grew up with social anxiety. I sat back in the high school theater for a year watching the kids on stage, wanting so badly to do it, and complete fear.
You and I both.
Isn't that something? And now here we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
You are an incredible person.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you
and
for
sharing your
having me.
incredible story.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Do me a favor. Look at that camera. And I want you to speak to you 25 years ago.
Oh my. First, I'm like, how old was I? It was a long time ago.
What message would you give
Gosh, people
a
ask me
woman,
this.
a nurse, someone who's at that place wanting to get out of the system but don't know how? What's your message to them?
Wow. Well, first of all, my message would be to acknowledge yourself for everything that you've created, everything that you've done, and to understand that not everything is meant to last forever. That we get given assignments in order to fulfill other people's hearts or fill our hearts or pieces inside of us, to learn things and to unlearn things, to show compassion and empathy, not only to others, but if we can give it to others, then you also know that you're able to give it to yourself and that it's time to start doing that. And when you start to see your worth and your love and your kindness and what God has really brought you here to do, you'll honor the fact that it's time to move on and to not be afraid of it, that it's always working out and it's a shift in the mind first, and then it is a shift in the outward, and to just keep going.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, right?
Powerful.
Yeah.
To the point and beautiful.
Thanks.
Where can everybody find you? Social media, website, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, we'll do the website because that's easy. It's JenellKelly.com. You'll put it out there so I don't have to
Of
spell
course.
it. There's a free tool on there if anyone would like it. It's Overcoming Overwhelm. It just gives you different tools and techniques to help quiet the brain, get yourself out of the stress, get out of anxiety so you can get unstuck. It's a great place to start. Yeah, and also if you text the word SHINE to 26786, we'll keep you in the know with all the events because we're always looking for speakers and vendors and things like that. So if you're somebody who's interested or guest, just to attend. So we'd love to have you join us. So SHINE to 26786.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Janelle, thank you.
Thank you.
You're an incredible person. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Keep shining. I can't wait to see what we do together.
I know.
What you do together. And whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Oh, I
Always.
appreciate you so much.
I
I'm
appreciate
so
you as
excited.
well.
Yeah,
Thank
it's gonna be
you.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Guys, go follow Janelle. What an incredible story of a human being who persevered and had faith and pushed through, even when she doubted, even when she had fear, even when she didn't know. She went through such incredible challenges in her life and sits here today with a smile on her face, thanking God for it, understanding what it did for her. Go follow Janelle, go to her site, get her free guide, follow, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. We'll see you guys next time.